So very good morning to my dear students. I could see all happy faces after a nice break. Yes or no? So you celebrated the festival? Yes? Okay, nice. And if you haven't celebrated, celebrate it today. Right? Okay. So why are we here today? Guys? Why are we here today? Come on, tell me. To continue with our topic, basic concepts, isn't it? To continue with our topic, basic concepts, preliminary. Though institute is asking us to read chapter 1, which covers section 1 and section 2. Are we doing only that? No. We are studying something more, right? Maybe from your foundation, maybe from other things, so that we understand things better. Only reading section 1 and section 2 will not help you to go to chapter number 2. Understand? That's why I called it as what? Topic number 1, which covers chapter 1 plus few other things. Isn't it? Madam, you there, no? So we have discussed definition of company from section 2 clause 20, which only clarifies that registration is must. Registration is compulsory in order to be called as a company under Companies Act. However, we understood that this is not comprehensive definition. This is not a comprehensive definition. That's where we took the help of, come on, features. And in our previous session, we have talked about features, and thereby we could frame some definition as well, right? So if you recall, voluntary association of persons, persons means here not just natural but also legal persons, and they unite for a common objective, and that objective may not be necessarily profit motive. It can be even, come on, non-profit motive. Recap is not for me, recap is for you, so please participate. And then when we say association, it need not be always 2 or 7. As you know, an exception is also there in the form of one person company, which has been recently introduced in this law. Earlier laws, we didn't had the concept of OPC. So Companies Act 1956, if you search, you will never find OPC. It is only from 2013 Act we've got this concept of one person company. But as I said, that's an exception. Otherwise, company means association, right? So minimum 2 members required in case of private company, and minimum 7 members required in case of public company. Correct. And then, if you recall, when we talk about registration, so registration not just by going to ROC's office and taking selfie with him, but rather what? Submitting the documents, filling up that form which is required, submitting those bonds or the affidavit which is required, plus payment of fee as well. To which ROC? Jurisdictional ROC. And how is the jurisdictional ROC decided? Based on registered office. Where is company going to have its registered office? So that is going to be the jurisdictional ROC, or that particular ROC will be called as jurisdictional ROC. And once the documents are submitted, immediately will he issue COI? No, he should be satisfied. He'll verify, that means those documents and the bonds or affidavit which you have submitted. What will be the date on the COI is going to be the date of incorporation of the company. So date of COI matters. Date on the COI matters, not date of issue and all. Isn't it? Then third one, separate legal entity and corporate personality. So that means once the company is registered, company and members are separate. Company and members are separate. Company and directors are separate. Company and directors are separate. Company and employees are separate. Company and employees are separate. Like that, if you talk about anyone, all are separate. Company enjoys its own existence, its own personality, corporate personality. They can enter into contract in its own name. They can acquire assets in its own name. They can incur liabilities in its own name. They can be sued by others in its own name. They can sue others in its own name. Any violations, any defaults, any contravention happens, they may be punished in their own name. So like that we have understood. But in order to understand better, we took the help of few case laws as well. What were the case laws? Salmon versus Salmon and Company Limited. So what happened here? You remember, no? Salmon, a sole proprietor having shoe business, decided to convert that into company form. When he decided this, then what was the value of that business? 38,782 pounds. Correct? So as a consideration, what did he receive from the company? 20,000 shares of £1 each, 10,000 debentures of £1 each. Even his wife daughter and 4 sons also got £1. I mean shares of £1 each, right? One share of £1 each, and remaining amount was given by the company in cash. Correct. And then when things didn't go well, right, after some time, when the company valued the liabilities, it was £17,000, assets were only £6,000 to support. So what did they do? Come on. They decided to liquidate and give this amount to whom? The secured creditor, and Salman, being the debenture holder, is a secured creditor. So it was decided to give it to them. However, the unsecured creditors objected to this. That is where Salman went to court of law, filed a case against company, not the unsecured creditors, right? He filed it against the company, and company obviously, court obviously said once the company is incorporated, company is different from its promoters, company is different from its shareholders, members, company is different from its debenture holders. So thereby applying that rule, they said during winding up, secured creditors must be paid in priority to unsecured creditors. So total £6,000 which were there with the company was paid to Salman, the debenture holder. Correct. Then one more case law we talked about, if you remember, Lee versus Lee Airframing Private Limited. What happened in this case? Come on, Lee, the qualified pilot, started a company which started manufacturing, or which was into the business of manufacturing aerial top dressing, meaning rooftops of helicopter. So which needs to be tested before it is sold. Before it is sold, it needs to be tested. So Mr. Mr. Lee, who was the qualified pilot, was appointed as chief pilot. So apart from promoter, director, member, he was also the chief pilot. One day, while testing, in an accident, he passed away. So that means he was testing that rooftop, and during that time he died. So in this case, or because of this, what happened? His family claimed compensation from the company, isn't it? However, what happened? The compensation was not given. So Lee's family went to court of law, and court of law said yes. During the course of employment, this was done, and company and this Lee being different, company and Lee being different, so thereby the company is supposed to pay compensation to his family. Correct. So here also we understood company is different and Lee is different. Then when we talk about third one, Bacha F. Gusdar versus CID, what happened here? The company which is into agricultural business gave dividend to members of the company. So one of the members claiming what? That this income which is coming from that company which is into agriculture business is exempt from tax. But that was not the case, because as soon as we say company is incorporated, company and members are different. So just because company is exempt from tax, does it mean even member will be exempt from tax because he is receiving some dividend income? No. So he will be liable to pay tax on the dividend which he receives, isn't it? So this case law also helped us. Then we also talked about liability of members, which is limited in most of the cases. That's why the heading itself is limited liability of members, isn't it? So company limited by shares, the liability is on the basis of, come on, answer. Shares. So fully paid up share, 0. Partly paid shares, remaining amount. Correct? The balance amount. Then company limited by guarantee. If I say with shares, then plus shares also, right? Twofold liability. Unlimited guarantee. Then unlimited guarantee meaning what? Entire debts and liabilities at the time of winding up. Okay. And share related liability can be called upon by the company at any time. That means lifetime or winding up. But how about guarantee amount? Only at the time of winding up. Then share capital. So capital of the company, we understand that is divided into small parts. Each part is called as shares, right? All these parts are uniform and each will have a nominal value, face value, isn't it? So this helps the company to raise more and more funds, because small parts they have divided, so it becomes affordable. So any person can acquire the shares and become a shareholder, become a member of this company, isn't it? So which type of shares? Obviously equity and preference. In equity, again there can be exceptionally equity shares with differential voting rights, which we in short say DVR, isn't it? Equity shares with DVR. And preference, again different kinds like cumulative, convertible, redeemable, or even participating. Then these shares are transferable from one person to another, right? Manner will be provided in the articles of association. As far as private company is concerned, preemptive clause is there. That means some restriction is there. Whereas in case of public company, free transferability. That means no restrictions as such. Correct? And just because it is transferable from one person to another, can we call it as negotiable instrument? No. And don't forget that this is being done in the secondary market, because when we are talking about investor to investor, it's secondary market. Company to investor, primary market. Achha, what is the benefit of this transferability? Liquidity, isn't it? Liquidity is there in the hands of the shareholder or the member. So thereby he will be motivated to invest money, isn't it? So company point of view, they will be able to raise huge amount of funds, because they know, the members know, the investors know that array, whenever I want I can put money, whenever I want to take out that money I can do it easily, isn't it? Then perpetual succession, what do you mean by that? Come on, members may come, members may go, but the company goes on forever, forever, isn't it? And don't forget here that even the death, insanity, insolvency of members is not going to affect the legal status of the company. Oh, company has come into existence because of law, company will come to an end because of law. Correct? Yes or no? Even change in name or conversion of company will not affect the legal status. Then separation between ownership and management. So owners are separate, management is separate. Maybe there is a possibility one of the shareholders might be a director as well, right? But is it that only if you are a shareholder then you can become a director? No, nothing like that. Correct? So shareholders, non-routine decision making, they will be involved. Routine decision making, only directors will take care. Oligarchic management, you remember, no? And acha, can the role be interchanged? Can the role be interchanged between the management and shareholders? No. Management will play its role, shareholders will play their role. You can't interchange. Director, suppose is going on leave, so he says, "Arey, I am going on leave. You, Mr. Shareholder, come and take my role." Is it possible? No. Like, I am going on leave. I say, "Oh, Kumari madam, please you come and take the class." Will you accept it? No. Isn't it? So one has to understand the role is not interchangeable. So now we'll have to come up with limitations. But before that, definition of company, because features we completed, then we talked about definition. Company is a voluntary association of persons having registered under company law, Companies Act, with separate legal entity, right? On registration it will become what? So with separate legal entity and corporate personality and limited liability of members, and having other characteristics like share capital, limited liability of members, transferability of shares, share capital, okay na? Separation between ownership and management, perpetual succession. So like that we formed a sentence out of it. Okay, so now let's talk about limitations. So I believe all of you who have joined us late have completed their backup classes, right? The backlog has been completed, so this holiday was a, what do you say, blessing for you, help you cover your backlog, correct? Yes or no? Yes sir. So if someone has not attending face to face or live or later on, please attend this class if you have already watched the other classes. If you haven't done that, please do it as soon as possible. Now first tell me, what do you mean by limitations? Guys, what do you mean by limitations? Limitations, restrictions, disadvantages. Okay, so let me tell you, both of you are correct, but then we cannot say every time limitation is a disadvantage. Reason being, sometimes limitation can be an advantage for someone. So it depends upon the party. You understand? Sir, example. Okay, I'll give you a very chindi example. Okay, very chindi example, simple example. Now, do you think I will allow you to leave before 2 hours? If you want to leave, do you think I will? No sir, unless we inform you before the class starts and I have a genuine reason, right? And if I inform you before the class starts, then you may allow us to leave. But otherwise, no. Correct or not? So this is sort of limitation I have kept. Come on, hai na? Now let's say that there is Mahesh Babu outside. Which Mahesh Babu? Actor Mahesh Babu, superstar Mahesh Babu. All of us like him? Yes, sir. If not fan, at least like him, no? So he's outside. Let's say you got to know it. Your friend messaged continuously, so you just took out the mobile when sir was not looking at you, isn't it? And saw, oh, Mahesh Babu is outside. And your friend is calling. Now you want to leave, you want to go. Did I allow? No. So you will say this limitation is a disadvantage. Yes or no? However, now let me change the scenario. It so happened that after the class got over, you left, when you went out, and you saw there was police. Because there was a lot of public when Mahesh Babu came, and there was a huge rush. So in that rush, some stamping also happened, stampede, right? Ek dusre ko khundal diye. So people got hurt as well, and then police had to do lathi charge. So few people got injured, and your friend who messaged you also is in hospital now because of that injury. Now what will you say? Thank God that limitation was there and I was not allowed to leave the class. At least because of that I could save myself. Mahesh Babu will see later. Yes or no? At least this limitation saved me or not? That means same limitation. Now you are saying it's an advantage. Earlier we were saying it's a disadvantage. So my dear friends, please understand, limitation doesn't mean always disadvantage. I don't say limitation is not a disadvantage. I am saying yes, it is a disadvantage, but then it is not always a disadvantage. Clear? So with that mindset you have to read this. If you read this only as a disadvantage, no, it is not going to help. Okay, for one party, one circumstance, it might be a disadvantage. For other party or other circumstance, it will be an advantage. And as he was saying, it might act as a restriction. You might see this as a restriction, but restrictions sometimes are good or bad. Just now we said, yes, good or maybe sometimes bad. Depends. Okay, so. And then, is this an exhaustive list? Are these the only limitations in company form of business? No. How could you say this? Not because of etc. Sir, we understand that you are giving an overview, correct? Features also. There might be more features we can add. It's not that only those are the features. When we study company law 1 to 29 chapters fully, we'll understand more things can be added in features. But based on your level and based on your understanding, I have added few. Same way when it comes to limitations, there are more. But then we have kept it to this number only. Clear? And that is the reason why I have written etc. So from this you can understand it is an inclusive list. What do you mean by exhaustive list? Exhausted. That means no more chance of including anyone. But then here it is not the case. Here it is inclusive, etc. So we can add more. Okay. Right, sir. So first one, formalities and expenses. Greater formalities and expenses are there in company law. Formalities, yes sir, you said lot of forms are there, lot many compliances are there, lot many chapters we could see. If we want to have a board meeting, there is a procedure, there is a provision, or there is a chapter. If you want to have general meeting, again there is a separate chapter for that. So you cannot just hold the general meeting, board meetings as you want. Even if you want to maintain books of accounts, it's not possible that you just do it on your own or whatever you want. It is not possible. You have to prepare books of accounts of company as per chapter number 9. For audit, again, auditor cannot apply his own brain and say whatever I want, I will do it. No, he has to understand. Chapter number 10 is there for it. Company wants to issue prospectus to raise funds. Again, provisions are there. Isn't it? Like that. Even closure, for closure, separate chapter 20 is there. A huge chapter. So, we understand that there are greater formalities. And when greater formalities is there, the time which you have to spend will be more or less? More. So considerable amount of time goes there. And that time will always involve cost also, money as well. No? You will be hiring a person will be fully focusing on that, dedicated towards that. So obviously that will entail cost as well, incur cost as well. So one has to understand that what is happening. This is a limitation. So from company point of view, obviously they'll say this is disadvantage. Wow, these many compliances. Oh, that will add time, that will add to cost. Don't you think disadvantage? But then you think from stakeholders' point of view. You think from the ROC's point of view. You think from the shareholders' point of view. You think from the government point of view. You think from the creditors' point of view. Don't you think they will be happy seeing this? Because they know, oh, if formalities are there, compliances are there, that means our interest is safe. Our interest is safeguarded. Things will happen properly. There will be transparency. So don't you think as a shareholder you will be happy? Obviously. So that means they'll see this as an advantage. Company might see this as a disadvantage. But members, shareholders will certainly see this as a, or stakeholders will certainly see this as an advantage. Clear? Right, sir. Then what? Corporate disclosures. First, let me take you to this slide as well. Okay, don't have to write everything as I've told you. You have to be very selective. Sir. Sir, side headings all limitations. Yes, obviously that you have to. But in this slide, again, don't try to write everything. Okay. Incorporation detailed. Yes, sir. There are meetings, board meetings, general meetings, even creditor meetings, which has to happen as per law. Yes, sir. There are several registers and books which are required to be maintained as per statute. So this is also a formality. Yes or no? Register of members is there, register of debenture holders is there, like that. You will find different register of charges is there, register of deposit holders is there, like that. Various registers. Then returns. You understand return? Yes, sir. Income tax return we know. So only income tax return is a return. Only in Income Tax Act we will find returns. In PF Act we can't find return. In Professional Tax we can't find return. In Companies Act we can't find return. We can. So what is return basically? Return is nothing but a declaration. Return is nothing but a statement. Return is nothing but a document which you're submitting, giving some information which they want. Understand? So income tax return. So that's a return where you're declaring your income, where you're giving a statement, this is my income, this is my tax, and this is how I have paid. Understand? So that sort of information you're providing. Same way in company, now you will find different types of returns. So based on the objective of that return, you will give the information. Correct or not? If I said provident fund return, that means what type of information will you give there? Provident fund related. So how much is the salary? How much is the provident fund you have deducted? How much you have contributed? Like that you will sum up and give the information to the department. Are you getting it, my dear friends? So here you will find some regular returns, some casual. What do you mean by casual? If it happens, you have to. Otherwise not. Regular means you have to. You understand? Casual, whenever you need to. Suppose some student said, sir, I want to attend only these topics. So he will come only for those topics. Otherwise he will not come. And if I am not teaching those topics, he will not come only. Correct or not? So same way here. Casual. Then approvals. Sometimes board approval. Sometimes members approval. Sometimes NCLT approval. Sometimes ROC approval. Sometimes regional director approval. Like that you will find different types of approvals required. Sometimes even some court's approval. Acha, whenever I say court, what do you mean by that? What do you understand? Judicial, quasi-judicial, both. Let's do an informal agreement that whenever we say court, what do we mean by it? Judicial as well as quasi-judicial body. Okay? If specifically I have to highlight it is a judicial body, I will highlight. If I have to highlight specifically it is a quasi-judicial body, I will highlight. But otherwise, court means judicial, quasi-judicial body both. We don't have so much of patience now to say judicial and quasi-judicial body. That's where what will we say? Court. Okay? You agree? Then provisions are there for accounts, audit, dividend, borrowings, all that. And that's where I've written there. Involves what? Involves what? Considerable amount of time and thereby even money. Right, sir? Now we're talking about corporate disclosures, the second limitation. The next limitation. Disclosure. Obviously transparency. Going to create what? Transparency. So it can affect secrecy of the company. It can affect secrecy or not? Yes, sir, because we have to disclose so much that we cannot keep secrets. However, on the contrary, if I have to tell you, then members do not have day-to-day control. on the affairs of the company, books of accounts of the company, isn't it? So this is acting as a limitation. So now, isn't it advantage or disadvantage? Sir, from company point of view, again disadvantage only, because they'll say secrets are getting affected, secrecy will not be possible. But from stakeholders point of view, again you think from shareholders point of view, creditors point of view, government point of view, society point of view, what will they say? Advantage. Company cannot hide things from you, so they cannot keep secrets, so obviously it is going to help you, isn't it? Yes sir. Next, greater tax burden, that's another limitation. Greater tax burden. By now probably you might have been introduced to tax rates, I guess, and you might have found there who's paying highest rate of tax, flat rate of tax? Company. Who's paying the highest rate of tax and the flat rate of tax? Company. Individuals and all at least have slabs, but then company flat rate of tax, isn't it? So that means what? Greater tax burden on the company, no? So is it not a limitation? Is it not a restriction? Is it not a disadvantage? Come on, think. Yes sir. Then double taxation. In the sense, double taxation in the sense what? Company will pay taxes, and then if you receive dividend, you might have to pay tax as well. Also same income company paid, now that income they are distributing to the owners, the members. Now owners, members also need to pay, unless the income tax act says no, you are exempt from paying tax on dividend. Understand? So that is how double taxation is possible. Certain deductions which are available to individuals are not available to company. Certain deductions are available to individuals but not available to company. Like if I talk about life insurance premium and all which you pay, individual can take the benefit of it. They can deduct from their income and then pay tax, but that is not allowed for companies. So like that there might be certain deductions you will find company cannot enjoy, individuals and all can. You will say, sir, why like this? This is too much, sir. Arey, who is extracting more from the society, you tell me? Who is exploiting more? Who is extracting more from the society? Tell me. Companies. Don't you see that? Who's taking more resources from the society? You taking, me taking, partnership firm taking? No, companies are taking. So when they are taking resources from the society, they are exploiting the society, they are taking more from the society, extracting more from the society, they are supposed to pay more. Simple rule, boss. You're gaining more, you have to pay more. The products which you are using, you tell me, the products which you are using. Now we are using this camera, manufactured by a company, no? So they have taken resources from the society or not? This computer which is there, who has manufactured it? Some company, no? I'll not use the brand name, but you understand. Isn't it? Some company, no? Again, so that means they have taken resources from the society. This projector, this AC, this fan, the road which you have used for coming, the bus in which you have traveled, or the metro in which you have traveled. Come on, tell me guys, like this you just think of the soap which you have used today morning, the toothpaste you might have used. Use kiya na? Diwali, Dashera to nahi naate na boss. So we understand all those were manufactured by, maybe made by whom? Company. Most of the things in the day which you will be using are manufactured by whom? Company. Companies. I am not saying only companies, but majorly companies only, boss. Because see, when we are talking about all this, this requires huge amount of money. And huge amount of money, even if a person has, he will not do it on his own. He will say, why should I take whole risk? Do you think Ambani doesn't have money? He has, no, but still he does businesses in company form, no. He will keep some stake and rest of the stake he will give it to public. That means he is raising funds from public. So he is taking limited risk. Are you getting my point? So kindly understand that when they are taking so much from the society, they are supposed to pay more as well to the society. Sir, but they are paying to government. Government is collecting taxes, then they will use this tax money for whose benefit? public benefit. At least on paper I have to say that. No sir, that is what happens actually. Some portion, some corruption, okay, that is there everywhere. But otherwise, don't you think development is taking place, we are getting the resources, we are getting the services, goods which we want, we are able to satisfy our needs. Are we not? We are, isn't it? Balaswamy, you were saying something? So what? Small, big doesn't matter. Only thing is there might be certain exemptions provided to them. There might be certain benefits separately given to them. But then rate of taxes same. Unless you say no sir, it's a foreign company, it's a domestic company. That might change the rate. So when you read the subject taxation, you will understand what we are talking about, and it is justified. It is not at all injustice to companies. You will understand that slowly. Okay, sir. Next limitation, separation between ownership and management. So, sir, how is this a limitation? Separation between ownership and management. So, day-to-day management, who will take care? Board of directors. So, don't you think that's a limitation? Even though you might have 49% of the shares, do you think you can step in the company and say, do this, that and all? No, it's not possible. The other day I was telling you, let's say you go to Mumbai and you say, because I am having some shares of Reliance Industries Limited, I will go to Reliance Industries office and see some ledger, ask them to show some books of accounts. And will they allow you? No. Isn't it? Might be the security guard may not even allow you inside the office, inside that premises. So one has to understand that here in company form, there is separation between ownership and management. So that acts as what? Limitation. Members have no intimate control over working of the company. No intimate control, right? Then next, members are not the agents or owners. They are merely suppliers of funds. Maybe we call them as owners, I know that. But actually speaking, if technically I speak, they are mere suppliers of funds. You understand? Like if I say your parents are your owners, will you accept? So you started staring at me like this. No, sir, they don't own us. They can't do whatever they want to with my life. It's my life. Don't you say this? Come on, don't lie. At some point or the other in your life, you might have told to your parents that this is my life. I will take decisions. If you are taking decision, at least ask me. Isn't it? That means you don't accept them as owner. If you accept them as owners, then you would have allowed them to do whatever they want you to. They want to do with your life. That means you'll say, yeah, they have given birth to us. We are grateful for that. Right? We will definitely be indebted to them lifetime. We will do whatever possible for them during the lifetime. Correct? Whatever possible we'll do for our parents or not. But the moment I say they're owners, people may not accept. You may not accept, I may not accept, others may not accept. If someone says, no, it is like this, I will not agree, boss. As I've just now told you, they are taking decisions for you and you say, no, I don't accept it. That means they are not owners. You tell them that this is my life, right? You should ask me. That means what? Again, they are not owners. Like that I can elaborate, but that's not the session for. So let's not get into that. That's just an example to understand. Same way, members, shareholders are not the owners. They are merely suppliers of funds. So because they have supplied funds, that is why they have right to at least ask some questions. That is where they have right that at least once in a year. 1 minute, Right? Being the supplier of funds, they have right to ask at least once in a year, please call us. Once in a year, at least show the financials to us. If you can't show each and every ledger, at least show us the balance sheet, show us the P&L once a year, at least you should show, no? Come on guys, answer. That's where that annual general meeting, that's where we say annual report has to be prepared, because they are the supplier of funds. If they have some questions, let us clarify. It is like that. But if you say, no, shareholders are owners, technically speaking, it is not correct. Technically speaking, it is not correct. Followed? Yes, sir. Then as I've told you, even if a shareholder member holds 49%, can he control the board of directors? No. No, sir. There is a group of shareholders who's holding 51% of shares. They want to appoint some director. Can they do that? Yes, that's possible. Because that's 51% majority. But 49% minority. So they cannot. Sir, 49.5% still minority. Correct? So Vidambana, in Hindi we say Vidambana. I don't know what do you call in Telugu. So it's Vidambana. Kya Vidambana hai dekho. 49% shares they have, but then still nothing in their hands. They don't have the decision making powers. Because if you want to take a decision, at least majority, that is 50, more than 50% is required. 51%, that is more than 50%. Then you can take the decisions, otherwise you cannot. So don't you think this is a limitation? So when members look at it, they will look at it as a disadvantage. This time ulta. Members are seeing this as disadvantage and companies seeing this as advantage. Thank God this is there so that we can take the decisions freely. We can do business with a free mind. Because members cannot interfere on a day-to-day basis. Yes or no? Few decision making rights we have got ourselves. We can take decision ourselves. Though we are accountable, but we can take decision ourselves. We need not take approval from members. So don't you think company is happy here? So sometimes company, sometimes stakeholders. Stakeholders, members. Clear? Which was the first one? First limitation we covered. Greater formalities and expenses. Second, greater disclosures, more disclosures. Third, greater tax burden. Fourth one, separation between ownership and management. Now detailed winding up. That's also a limitation. Chapter 20 is totally for what? Winding up. Many sections are there for closure of the companies. So please understand. This is again. So you will say now, sir, this is anyways covered in greater formalities and expenses. No, sir. This is also a formality. Then why did you cover it separately? Because we wanted to highlight that closure also requires lot of formalities. A dedicated chapter and rules are there for closure of the companies. NCLT approval needs to be obtained to close the company. I have told you earlier also. NCLT approval required to close the company. Not that you want to put the shutter down today and you can go home and say company is closed. No, it won't happen like that. What happened? You're able to follow? Madhvi madam. Next. Then one more we'll try to cover, which is that greater social responsibility. Greater social responsibility. The responsibility of company has moved from shareholders to stakeholders. Has moved from where? Shareholders to stakeholders. Do you think responsibility of the company is to only shareholders? Not customers? Not creditors, suppliers, not those banks and financial institutions, not to the government, not to society. Come on guys, answer. Not to the employees. Their responsibility is not towards employees. It is. That's why we are saying greater social responsibility. Their responsibility is towards society, not just shareholders. Shareholders are mere supplier of funds. No doubt you have to take care of them, but only if you take care of them. That's wrong, no? Kumari madam, are you taking care of your parents? Only your parents? No, your husband, your in-laws, correct? Family members, others also, no? See, neighbors, your friends, teachers, yes sir, time to time. I'm not saying daily you, right? Take care, but somewhere You have to balance it, no? Same way others also are doing it, not just Kumari madam. Company also have to take care of everyone. If you just think of shareholder, that's not right. Yes, shareholder you have to give importance because they've supplied funds, but then only shareholders will be wrong. So see, I've written it for you. Shareholders, members, what do they expect from you? You in the sense company, huh? Dividend, more and more share prices. They want appreciation in share price or not? Yes, sir. They want to exercise rights as a member. They want to exercise rights as that of member. Like when there is a general meeting, they should have the right to vote on the business which is transacted in the general meeting. Like that, they expect some rights, no? Right to receive the notice of the general meeting, right to receive the annual report, right to receive the bonus. Like that, there are various rights as a members which we are going to discuss later. When are we going to discuss? Can you tell me? Can you guess? Members, rights of members. Chapter 11, no. Chapter 11, definitely no. Because that is directors. Directors. 13, again directors, managerial remuneration, appointment of managerial person. Where are we going to cover this? Sir, obviously chapter 4, share capital and debentures. When you purchase shares, you become a member. So when you become member, what happens? You'll get certain rights. So that time we'll talk about rights of members in detail. Understand? See, as I've told you, I'm repeating again, these features, these limitations, you're just getting an overview. These are things which are going to come across in different chapters, different topics. We're going to cover it. Okay? Then, do the shareholders expect the brand as well? Suppose you say, I am a shareholder of some company, let's say, kuch to naam bol do. Sir, Orange Kids Private Limited. And once you say this, your friend Karthik asks you, which is this company Ra? Which is this company Ray? That means you have not heard of this company. So do you think it will pinch you? Yes, it will. You'll say, what nonsense, I have bought so many shares of this company, he doesn't even know about that company. Have you not heard about that company? This is so popular. Karthik says, no, I don't know. How will you feel? Pinch, no, hurt, no. Are yaar, AIM company kun. Sorry, I'll not get into Telugu mode. Right? Because I'll murder the language. So better I stick to English. So it says, which company shares did I bought boss or did I buy boss? Isn't it? Bolo re bhai. So that is the feeling you will get. So you want the companies to have a brand. You expect as a shareholder, as a member, you want to be a member of a company which is a known brand. Understood? Etc. That means other expectations also might be there. But these are the basic expectations. You agree? Which one? Dividend. Share price should go up, increase, not just share price, increase in the share price. Rights as a member, brand, etc. Next, second, financial creditors. They also expect something. Yes, sir. Financial creditors are the one from whom company has taken money again. Financial creditors, no. So company has taken money from them. Bank, they take a loan. So financial creditor. Financial institutions. Yes or no? So like that, they might have taken money from someone else as well, apart from members. So those are called as financial creditors. What will they expect? Interest, repayment, security, compliance of terms and conditions on the basis of which they have given that money. Array, if you take a loan from bank, they will give you just like that. Will there not be a loan agreement? And in that loan agreement, will there not be terms and conditions? And do you think bank will expect us to comply with those terms and conditions? Yes. Same way, company has taken loan from bank. So bank will not expect from company that they should comply with the terms and conditions. That is what I have written there. So they expect compliance of terms and conditions. They expect repayment. They expect security. They expect interest, like that. There are expectations of financial creditors from whom? Company. So within this limitation, they have to work. Who? Company. Within the limitation, they have to work. So advantage for company, disadvantage for company. Sir, all this company will say disadvantage only. But from stakeholders' point of view, advantage, no. I repeat again, don't think limitations means only disadvantage, boss. It depends on on which person's or from which person's point of view you're talking about, which circumstance point of view you're talking about. Okay? Right. Then, next, trade creditors. You know trade creditors? Yes, sir, supplier of raw material and other items, or maybe supplier of services. Those are trade creditors. What do they expect? Shall I say repayment? No, payment. Banks, repayment, because they've given money, they expect that money back. But here they don't expect goods back, no, they expect payment. And then terms and conditions again. Yes, sir. Next, more and more business. Yes, sir. Like that, they also expect something. Then workers, employees, what do they expect? Salaries on time, that too. Increment in salaries. Yes, sir. Compliance of labor laws. Do they expect or not? Yes, they'll expect the company in which I am working should follow the labor laws. PF Act, Factories Act, like that. There are various acts, Payment of Bonus Act. So they expect the company complies with that. They should give us good conditions for working. Workers will expect, no, employees will expect, no. Then bonus from time to time, or bolo, job security, other benefits, some perks, allowances they expect. Diwali time they expect a gift. Do they not? Everyone expects, boss. Not just, what do you say, workers. Everyone expects. So nothing wrong in it. So like that, they have expectations from whom? Company. So this is again a limitation. So many expectations of workers as well. Next, customers, do they expect anything from the company? Yes, sir. Fair price they expect. Fair price. I'm not saying cheap. Fair price. Quality. Choices. These days, choices is like, was everything you want to buy, you want to have choice. Suppose you go and you want to buy smartwatch. You ask, are there any colors? Is this dial only square shape, not rectangle shape, or not round, or some rhombus shape, something, some different shape? Was everyone is wearing this, what do you say, square shape smartwatch only? Color again, that gray, black, white. This is only the color. Now, are you not having different colors? Like that, don't you think you expect choice there? Options there? You want to buy car. Again, in car, you want to have options. Not just color options, but model options, different features. Don't you expect that? So it's not just clothes in which we look out for options. But these days, anything anything you want to buy, you want to have, you want options, choices. Correct? You want to exercise your rights as a customer, as a consumer. So if you are a customer, don't you think you will expect the company to honor those? Honor the rights which you have. Respect the rights which you as a customer have. You might have read something called as Consumer Protection Act in your 12th, I guess. Or you might have heard of Consumer Protection Act. 12th mein hai वैसे. If you are from CBSE board, I don't know about other boards, but there. Or if not read, at least you might have heard of Consumer Protection Act, gives rights to consumers. So you expect the company to follow that or not? Yes, sir. So again, limitation, no. Now you stopped it completely, not writing anything. You meaning not just one person, I'm referring to all. Keep writing something. Not that fully you stop. I didn't say fully you have to stop. But if you are focusing only on writing from the board, then obviously you will miss out the explanation. So that should not be. You should keep a balance. Keep writing, keep listening, keep interacting. Keep writing, keep listening, keep interacting. Writing, listening, interacting. Come on, repeat. Writing, listening, interacting. Next, competitor. Oh, competitor also expects something from the company. Yes. Fair competition, healthy competition they expect. Isn't it? They don't expect unethical practices. They expect company to follow ethical practices. Have competition, but healthy and fair. Don't treat your competitor as enemy. Isn't it? They expect. Then society. Yes, sir. Tata IPL. So IPL sponsor is Tata. Now Indian jersey you could see Dream 11. So that means again what? Sponsorship. Adidas sponsorship. So don't we expect sponsorships from the companies? Don't we expect that when we have pandemics, we have floods, the corporate should come forward, should help? Yes. So that's where we've written that society is also expecting welfare sponsorship from the companies. Next, government. What will government expect from the companies? Only taxes? No sir, compliance of laws. Compliance of laws, generation of employment, foreign exchange. They should earn foreign exchange. More and more the company earns foreign exchange. India will get foreign exchange. The country will get foreign exchange. And what will happen if we get foreign exchange? We have more and more foreign exchange reserve. We will become more and more powerful. We can import. We can buy anything which we want. If we don't have foreign exchange reserves, we don't have foreign exchange, then do you think we are powerful? Why do you think US is powerful? Correct. We know the answer. So same way I am saying. So government just not expects payment of taxes. That is there anyways. Plus compliance of various laws. Foreign exchange generation, foreign exchange earnings, employment generation. Correct? No? So that's why government keep inviting. Come on, come and do business with us. Business in our area, business in our state. Is KTR not inviting different investors, different businesses? Doing it. Same way other states are trying to attract the investors and say, come here and do the business. Because we know if this business is done here, employment generation will be there. Taxes will come here, tax we can earn, right? So like that, there are various expectations of various people. You can add more if you are thinking of. Whatever I could think of, I have written it here. So that means the responsibility of company, in short I will say, has moved from shareholders to stakeholders, to society at large. Every section of the society at large. So this is what? The limitation within which the company has to work. So company might see this as a disadvantage, but we will see this as an advantage. Okay. So these were few limitations which we wanted to cover while discussing this company form. Okay. Come on guys. Greater formalities and expenses. Corporate disclosures. I guess all of these now you are able to connect. You are able to understand. You know? Then greater tax burden. Separation between ownership and management. Detailed winding up, which we said can be a part of formalities and expenses also, but because winding up is like a hot topic, hot cake, that's where we highlighted separately. And then greater social responsibility, and after that we have written etc. because we know there can be more limitations. But as of now, in the initial stages, this much is enough. Clear? Yes, sir. So now let's have some conclusion. This I have explained you in our previous session only. Don't look at this like a different eye. Please understand. Dissolution, I have told you, is closure. Winding up is process of closure. Liquidation is one of the steps involved in winding up, which means sale of assets and creating money so that you can pay off. Liquidity, correct? Liquidation. And we also said that these terms are used interchangeably. These terms are used interchangeably. Interchangeably meaning, instead of using the term winding up, we use the term liquidation. Instead of using liquidation, we use the term dissolution. Like that, we use it interchangeably. Though each one of them is different. But from here on, I believe at least you will not do that. You will use the term correctly. Right? Yes, sir. Okay, let's discuss this as well first. Then I'll go to conclusion. Okay. Citizenship versus residential status. Limitations over, huh? Now I'm talking about what? Citizenship versus residential status. Meaning, does company get citizenship? Is company eligible for citizenship? Have you heard of a company is an Indian citizen? A company is a US citizen, like that. Have you heard of any time? No, because it is not. That's not possible. That's not allowed. Citizenship is only for individuals like us. You are Indian citizen, I am Indian citizen, correct? Yes or no? Same way some other person might be citizen, yeah, of some country. So citizenship is for whom? Individuals. What about residential status? Now Income Tax Act you have started. So you might be knowing that there is something called as resident company, non-resident company. Have you started the topic? You will start. That's the second topic which we normally read, basic concept and residential status. So for your information, please understand that there is resident company, there is non-resident company. Okay, you will read about all that. So that means what I am trying to tell you is residential status concept is there for companies, though citizenship concept is not there. Even when we read FEMA, kiski ma? Foreign Exchange Management Act, we have in our syllabus, no? Come on. So in that again you will study that there is a residential status concept which is for companies as well, which is for everyone. How they will become resident, that we will discuss later. But point is they enjoy the residential status. They have this applicable to them. Okay. So coming to citizenship is for only individuals. So sir, what is the implication of this? What is the implication? That citizenship is only for individuals. So what is the implication? 6 fundamental rights are available only for individuals. Okay. I have put this list also for you just in case someone wants to refer. Are you able to see? These 6 rights, fundamental rights, are for whom? Indian citizen. But Indian citizenship is given only to, or citizenship is given only to individuals, not companies. So companies do not enjoy this. There are some other fundamental rights, there are some other rights which are available to everyone. So even company enjoys, like right to own property. Company also has the right to own property. Like that you will find some rights available for even company, though it is not a citizen. But these rights are for whom? These 6 fundamental rights are for citizens. But company is not a citizen. Clear? Sir, I have more interest in discussing this. I want to discuss more. You have your dabba with you, right? In that definitely data is there. Mobile data, correct? Or Wi-Fi connection. There's something called as Google. Bhai? Answer guys. So you can Google it. You can search. Okay? Because this is not a civics class which we are having. So that's where I'm not getting into detail. But I'm showing you the direction. This is how you can connect with different subjects. One way is, don't see that. Just see, India, company is not a citizen. And leave it there. But what did I do? I went further and just wanted to explain you what is the implication if it is not a citizen. Oh, they will not get the 6 fundamental rights, but they may get some other rights which are available to everyone. One example I've written there also, right to own property. So something more I have shown you, but in that again you want more means, come on, you on your own have to do it. This is a professional course guys. Our job is to share things, guide you, and then you have to deep dive into it if you have interest. Residential status. What did I write there? Sir, this matters. Residential status of the companies matters in Income Tax Act, FEMA, etc. I have written these 2 because these 2 are there in our syllabus. In our syllabus in the sense, CA inter syllabus I am talking about. Income Tax Act is there? Yes sir. FEMA is there? Yes sir. So now, how can we conclude whatever we read till now? Okay, how can we conclude whatever we read till now? So I've written something here. What should be their legitimate goal? What should be the legitimate goal of the company? Only take care of the interest of shareholders. No. Then maximization of social welfare. What should be their legitimate goal? Maximization of social welfare. Sir, that means every company should become non-profit company. No, I didn't say that. See, beautiful example, or very strong example if I have to take, no, Tata is the example. Tata during COVID time, during the pandemic, contributed to the PM Care Fund. How much? 1500 crores. How much? INR 1500 crores. And what is happening now? People prefer buying Tata products. They say Tata is the one which helps so much. So obviously people are, yes, people were, impressed with Tata earlier also. Why? Because Tata follows ethical practices. Tata says, no doubt we have to earn profits, we have to do business means we have to earn profits, but ethically. That's what Tatas are known for, if you know it. Tatas are known for that. So don't you think, if you take care of society, society will take care of you? Suppose I take care of you. Am I taking care of you? Yes. So now will you take care of me? Yes, sir. If time arises or maybe there is a need, we will take care of you as well. Suppose I need some help. You say, sir, I will do it, sir. Don't worry, sir. I will help you, sir. Isn't it? Suppose I don't bring breakfast and we are having an extended session. You will say, sir, please have my breakfast, sir. No problem. Or I'll get breakfast for you, sir. I hope I'm not expecting too much. Will you share your breakfast with me or no? Yes, sir. What is there? We will. Sometime maybe you are feeling hungry and I have my tiffin, right? You're not able to control hunger. Yes, I will share. So like that we can help each other, isn't it? That's what we are saying to the companies as well. Take care of social welfare. Take care of society. Society will take care of you. That should be your legitimate goal. Legitimate means what? Legal. Correct? Secondly, I would say, shareholders are not proprietors, shareholders are not owners, they are mere suppliers of funds. And thereby they should expect only reasonable returns. That's it. Reasonable return, not unreasonable return. Why, sir? Suppose shareholders start expecting unreasonable return. We want 35% return this year. We want 46% return this year. That will put a pressure on the company. And if there is a pressure like this on the company, do you think company will be able to use ethical practices in their business? Do you think they will not cheat public there, customers there? Just think. No, sir. If there is a pressure like this, they will cheat the customers for sure. They will not follow ethical practices for sure. We know. They may not give salaries on time. They may not pay employees properly. They may not comply different laws properly. There is a possibility or not? Like suppose your father has said, or your parents have said, Lokesh, AIR 1. AIR 1. Understand AIR 1? Guys, no. All India rank. CA Inter AIR 1 is what we want from you. Who said this? Parents of Lokesh. If you don't get this, we will throw you out of our house. That too with broken legs. Daily basis his parents are saying like this. That means it will put pressure on him. Now in the examination he is not getting some answer. What will he do? Copy. He will take chits if he has not read something. Why? Because there is so much pressure. Parents said, if you don't get AIR 1 then what? First break your legs and then throw you out. So he's scared now. With that pressure, he has done this unethical things. Any person might do this, no boss. The one who doesn't do it, he will be Sant Mahatma, saint. Mahatmudu, Mahatma, kya bolte? Correct or not? So more chances, more probability is you may behave unethically. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. If shareholders, if members start expecting unreasonable returns, companies may not be able to perform ethically or may not be able to fulfill their duty towards the society, which will be so wrong. Isn't it, guys? Yes, sir. Next. The responsibility of the company has moved from shareholders to stakeholders. And then we are saying lastly that companies are guided or should be guided by the consideration of national economy and progress. That should be in their mind. At the back of the mind, always they should think about what? Nation, society, and then do business. And if they do business, then do you think they'll get the benefit? Yes. They'll sustain in the long run. They'll grow in the long run. If you cheat people, you may earn in the short run. Suppose I cheat you and get money. Short run, yes, I got money. Long run, will you trust me? Will you believe me? Later on, will you do any dealings with me? No. Rather, you will stop others also to deal with me. Cheating can help you in the short run, but not in the long run for sure. Okay, sir. So this is how I just wanted to conclude, sum up what all you have understood by now. Sir, but everything has not come. Summing up means what? Everything will come. No, few major points which we have covered here. Come on, tell me, what are those? Fast. Maximization of social welfare should be the legitimate goal. Shareholders should not be treated as proprietors, rather mere supplier of funds with reasonable expectations, not unreasonable, isn't it? Then the company is responsible to the shareholders and not stakeholders. The company is responsible towards stakeholders and not just shareholders. And then they should be always guided by the consideration of national economy and progress. Right, sir. So we talked about limitations, we talked about residential status. Now let us continue further and talk about the next topic now. And what is the next topic? Lifting of corporate wheel. Okay, next topic is what? Lifting of corporate wheel. Sir, but before that we would like to just check the printed material once. This is your topic 1 in the printed material. Not accounts book, madam. So topic 1 preliminary, you have seen the heading. Yes sir, we have seen that day also, you have shown last class, right? Background, short title, extend, that is section 1, definition, characteristic features, isn't it? So I believe you have read this. I believe you have read this. I've asked you what was your homework to read this. This is what we have discussed. But if you read once on your own at your own pace, you'll become comfortable. Yes sir has covered everything. Oh no, I did not understand this sir. Sir, you did not cover this. Like that we'll know, no? If you don't read, you just attend the class and come the next day. It is not going to help, guys. Same way today we talked about what? Limitations. Correct? Formalities and expenses, corporate disclosures, greater social responsibility. Next, greater tax burden, separation of ownership. Yes sir, detailed winding up. Then we talked about just now citizenship, residential status. Yes sir. Then just now we have completed is what? Conclusion. Right? Conclusion. Yes or no? And now we are into, bolo boss, lifting or piercing of corporate wheel. So before that, we would obviously like to understand what's the meaning of corporate wheel. Before we step into lifting of corporate wheel, first let us understand what is corporate wheel. What is the spelling of wheel? W-H-E-E-L. No sir, this is V-E-I-L. V-E-I-L. Don't ever write W-H-E-E-L. Like that. Don't behave as if you have not heard this term earlier. You have, isn't it? In your CA foundation, you might have come across. Definitely, certainly. What is corporate wheel? Corporate wheel. Corporate personality. What do you mean by corporate wheel? Corporate personality. Is company not a corporate personality? Yes, sir. It enjoys separate legal entity or not because of corporate personality? Yes, sir. That means company and members are different. Company and directors are different. Company and employees are different. Like that, company and anyone you talk about, you'll say is different. That's corporate wheel. That's corporate personality. That's nothing but separate. It implies what? Because it's a corporate personality, it implies it enjoys separate legal entity. Understood, my dear friends? Now the question comes, what is lifting of corporate wheel? What is piercing of corporate wheel? Disregarding that separate legal entity. Disregarding that separate legal entity and treating company and members as one and the same. Company and directors as one and the same. Company and employee as one and the same. Like that, whoever is involved will treat that person and company as one and the same. You followed what I said? Corporate wheel means corporate personality. That means separate legal entity. However, lifting of corporate wheel means what? Disregarding that separate legal entity. So when you disregard, that means you are going to treat company and members as one and the same. Company and directors as, come on, answer, one and the same, isn't it? So we can understand that disregarding obviously will be done in exceptional cases. Generally, will you disregard? No, sir. Then who will come into company form? People come into company form because they know that there is separate legal entity. Company is a corporate having a corporate personality of its own, isn't it? So kindly understand now that corporate wheel will be lifted, will be disregarded, will be pierced only in exceptional cases. So what did I write here? Come on, what do you mean by corporate wheel? Please write and even interact. You're not writing, I am again and again telling you. What's the heading you will put? Lifting of corporate wheel. In that now, what is corporate wheel? Corporate wheel is nothing but corporate personality. It implies, that means corporate personality implies what? Separate legal entity. Which further implies what? Limited liability, perpetual succession, etc. Because it is having corporate personality, that's why we are talking about perpetual succession. Members may come, members may go, but the company goes on forever, forever, forever. Why are we able to say this? Because of corporate wheel. Now what do you mean by lifting of corporate wheel, piercing of corporate wheel? So we said disregarding. Disregarding what? Disregarding separate legal entity. Correct? Disregarding the separate legal entity. That means you are saying, no, we will not follow corporate wheel. We will not treat members and company as different. We will treat them as same. But as I have told you, this will be done only in exceptional cases. Not every case. Every case, if they start doing this, then people are not going to incorporate companies. People are not going to do business in company form. Right? So now when they do this disregarding, what happens? As we said, company and members, company and officers, company and any other person involved will be treated as one and the same. So what will be the implication of this? The members or the directors or whoever is involved will be personally liable, will be having unlimited liability. Correct? So that's where we have written this here. So this implies unlimited liability or personal liability. Clear? Yes, Lokesh. Please tell me, what do you mean by corporate wheel? corporate person. Okay. What do you mean by lifting or piercing, Mr. Karthik? Huh? I didn't say that. I said lifting or piercing. Lifting or piercing means disregarding. Madhvi, lifting or piercing of corporate wheel. Good. Because now I said lifting or piercing of corporate wheel, that's why you'll say disregarding separate legal entity, disregarding that corporate personality. When I'm asking you simply lifting or piercing, that means disregarding. When I simply ask you corporate wheel, corporate personality, separate legal entity, that's it. Clear? समझ रहे हैं ना? Sir, under which circumstances this will happen? Next question which will come is now, after understanding the meaning, now we'll ask this question. What exactly are the circumstances where lifting of corporate wheel will be done? So that's where the next thing which we have after the meanings, right? After discussing what is corporate wheel, what is lifting or piercing, now we need to understand the circumstances. And broadly we can group them into two. Broadly we can group these circumstances into two. What are those two circumstances? Statutory circumstances, judicial circumstances. What do you mean by statutory circumstances under which corporate wheel will be lifted? Statutory circumstances means when will the statute require? When will the law require? There are provisions where lifting of corporate wheel is done. Law is saying lifting should be done, or law is implying lifting. Statutory, statute, law, act. So then what is judicial circumstances? As the name goes, judicial circumstances. Judicial, so obviously courts. And when I say courts, am I talking only about judicial bodies? No sir. Already we said judicial, quasi-judicial both. So case laws, courts also will lift corporate wheel. So there are few circumstances like that. Clear? So whenever law says we have to lift the corporate wheel, whenever judges want in the in the cases, they may also lift the corporate wheel. But as I have told you, I repeat again, only exceptional cases this happens. So first let us discuss statutory circumstances. Sir, please give us some examples now of few provisions, few sections where corporate wheel is lifted. Arey, I'm saying here, in this law, in this statute, sir, please give us examples for the provisions or of the provisions where corporate wheel is lifted. Why do you say again statutory? I'm talking about statutory only. Will you not ask examples? Will you not ask cases where law is saying that corporate wheel should be lifted? Yes. So that's where I have written few examples for you. What is the first one? Come on, let's read. First one. Reduction in number of members. That means you are able to understand my handwriting. Good. Second, holding company in consolidated financial statements. Meaning in case there are holding subsidiary companies, then consolidated financial statements are prepared. Third, oh great, misdescription of name. Fourth, misrepresentation in prospectus. Fifth, investigation. Sixth, oh great, so you are able to understand my handwriting. Good. Yes sir, because now since 6-7 classes, or maybe today is what, 8th class, so obviously we are able to understand your handwriting. Like that you will get comfortable, you will get, what do you say, set. If you have still not got comfortable or set, slowly it will happen. But slowly doesn't mean end of the session or end of the, what do you say, batch. It should happen as soon as possible, or at least at the earliest. Chalo, now few people have started again scribbling everything. Okay, you may do that, but then I never expected this. Write, but also understand and write. That is also important. Chalo, so let's go for the first one. Reduction in number of members given under section 3A. Not 3, not 4. What? 3A. So what does this imply? Amendment. This was not there originally in 2013 Act. But later on, by way of amendment, they added section number 3A. Why did they add it as 3A? They could have numbered it as 471, no? Sir, because it was related to 3, or it should be after 3 and before 4. That's where they had to number it like this. Simple reason. If they put it as 471, that will go to miscellaneous topic. Whereas this is not miscellaneous section. This is a section which should be there in incorporation topic. Okay. So that is why numbered it as section 3A. Okay, sir. So what's happening here? What has happened here, or what does this section says? It says there is a statutory minimum limit. Yes, sir. Private company statutory minimum number of members is 2 and public company 7. Correct or not? Suppose that number goes down in the company, let's say private company, out of 2 members, 1 has gone. So is there a minimum number? No, sir. Let's say in public company, the number has come to 6, 5. Only 5 members are there. That means they are not having minimum number. So wrong, no? So wrong, no? When minimum number is 2 and 7, there should be these many numbers at least. There can be more, but minimum is this much. But let us say that has come down. So what is the responsibility of the company? Increase the number of members. Take new members and increase it. Yes or no? How much time is given for that? 6 months. How much time given for that? 6 months. But let us say 6 months over. Still they did not increase the number of members to statutory minimum. Then what will happen? Lifting of corporate veil. Meaning, then they say, for the contracts which are done, it is not the company who will be liable. Who will be made liable? The existing members who are aware will be made personally liable. Huh? Sir, company form of business and personal liability? Yes. See, if the company was really interested in company form, those members were really interested in company form, don't you think they will increase the number of members, they'll get new members? If they, and how much time given? 6 days? 6 weeks? 6 months. In 6 months also they are not increasing the number of members to statutory minimum. This clearly shows that they are very casual in their approach. They are not serious about company form of business. So if they are not serious in company form of business, that means they don't want separate legal entity. That's where they say, okay, you will be only made personally liable. So what happened here? Lifting of corporate veil. Come on guys, look here. What did I tell you? Come on, look here, I said. Number of members have gone below 7 or 2 as the case may be. Okay. This is less than sign. Less than means what? Below only, no? So it has gone. Number of members have gone below 7 or below 2 as the case may be. 7 is for public company, 2 is private company. We know this. And that company continues business for more than 6 months without even increasing the number of members. That means with reduced number of members only they continue, that too for more than 6 months. Wrong, no? They should have increased the number of members, but then they did not. So what does section 3A says in this case? It says every member during the said 6 months who knows such fact be severally liable. So jointly, severally they will be held liable. So company will not be liable. Sir, please take one example, no, one question, no sir, so that we know whether we have understood or not. Yes, okay. So one question is there for you. Please guys focus here. So what is this date? 18th of August 2022. That is the date when, let us say, reduction in number of members happen. One person K, one member K goes, leaves the company. So number of members comes below 7. Okay, one member K goes, and that's where what happens? Number of members come below 7. Example, just an example I am taking. On which date it happened? 18th of August. So sir, now 6 months I have to calculate. Yes. So 18th August to 17th September, like that. October, November, December, January. Over. Come on, tell me 6 months, when will it get over? A simple thing I am asking you. 18th of August, complete 6 months. August to September, September to October, October to November, 3 months. November to December, December to Jan, Jan to Feb, 6 months over. Now we can say 6 months. So 17th of Feb 2023. That is the date when 6 months will get over. So they have time till 17th of Feb 23 to increase the number of members. Okay, but they did not do. They increased the number of members to 7 on which date? 17th April 2023. Okay, let us say they have increased the number of members, but when? 17th April 23. Okay, sir. Fine, we understood these 3 dates. What happened on 18th August 22 in my example? Number of members have come down. What happened on 17th of Feb 23? 6 months got over. What happened on 17th April 23? They increased the number of members back to 7, back to that statutory minimum. Okay, sir. Now, I'll ask you 3 questions, 3 cases in this. First one, let us say the company is doing some contract on 18th of October 22. 18th of October 22. Tell me who is liable for this contract? Huh? Very good. Company. Because anyway, till 6 months they have time, no? So if anything happens, any contract done, who will be liable for that? Company. Come on guys, understand. 6 months time given, no? Next. Second question. Suppose company does some contract on 17th of March 23. Who is liable for this contract? Those existing members will be held personally liable, not the company now. Because 6 months time over, still they did not increase. So now punishment for them. Company will not be liable. There is no separate legal entity now. They have disregarded and they say, who are those members behind? Come on, bring them. They will be held liable. Okay. Third question. 10th of May 23, the company entered into a contract, another contract. 10th of May 23. Who will be held liable for this? Very good. Company. Why? Sir, because on 17th April you said they have increased the number of members back to 7. So as soon as they do this, that means who's going to be liable? Company is going to be liable. Separate legal entity comes back. Clear? I am not saying, you are not saying this. Section 3A says this. So if someone asks you outside, who said this, don't say Gautam sir said this, my law teacher said this. What will you say? Section 3A of Companies Act 2013 is talking about this. There it is written. We are just a medium, but otherwise it is written in law. Okay? Okay, sir. Now, uncle aunties, let us say 7 members were there: A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. And G. No, 7 I have to say. So 6 I can't stop. G has gone. He left the company. He left the company. So members have become 6. F was not aware of this. F was not aware of this, that G has left. So how come? He is in Singapore. Gone to his daughter. Daughter is settled there, so gone to meet the daughter. Or maybe granddaughter is expected or grandson is expected. That means grandchild is expected. So thereby to take care of their daughter, they have gone. Okay. So F is not aware that number of members have come down to 6. Now tell me, who will be held liable for the contract done on 17th of March 23? A, B, C, D, E, F. F also? The answer is no. Now read here properly what is written in the provision. Every member during the said 6 months who knows such facts. And here F doesn't know such fact. No, sir, we have read something called as ignorance of law is not an excuse. Yes, this is an exception to that. I have told you that time itself. That's why in the glossary also we made one section called as general rule with exceptions. So general rule, no ignorance of law can't be excused. But here ignorance is excused. They are saying if you are ignorant, no problem. Will not punish you. You are not going to be liable. Followed, guys. So section 3A, can I assume it is completed? Yes, sir, we have understood. Whenever, I've asked, no, second question also I've asked. So you solve. That's where I said read the book. That's where I said solve it. I have solved 2 questions, isn't it? Come on, I have solved. And in first question we had 3 contracts, 3 scenarios. Second one, of course, 1. There also if you want I can, but it's waste of time. You have understood means it's enough. Come on, tell me what happens here. In section 3A, what do they say? If the number of members, see, don't stop at understanding and application or implication. Think of presentation also. So if you are saying you have understood, you know the implication also, application also, now present it. Oral, written, both. So now orally at least present it. Sir, when the number of members fall below the statutory minimum, which is 2 in case of private company and 7 in case of public company, and the company continues business with that reduced number for more than 6 months, then any contract done after 6 months, who will be held liable? The existing members who are aware of the fact will be held severally, personally liable. Small section. Clear? Right. So we have completed this reduction in number of members. Now let's go to the second one. What is the second example I have taken there? Holding company dash consolidated financial statements. Sir, what is this? Let us say there is a company which is a subsidiary company of another company. So that means this company, let's say S, is a subsidiary company and company H is a holding company. So do you think company S will prepare its financial statements? Do you think company S will prepare its financial statements? Come on guys, answer. Yes. Do you think company H will prepare its financial statements? Yes, sir. So S will prepare on its own, H also will prepare on its own. Acha. Who has invested in company H? Sir, some shareholders, they have invested. So their money from company H has come to company S. So do you think those shareholders of company H will be interested in company S also? Yes, of course, sir. See, your parents have interest in you and you have interest in someone else. Don't you think your parents will be interested in that other person also? Yes or no, Kumari madam? Yes, sir. With a smile, yes, sir. Same way, now just understand with this. These are the shareholders, these are the members of company H. So they have put money in company H. So their interest is in company H. Now company H has invested in company S. Correct? So don't you think these shareholders will have interest in company S also? So only if company S prepare its financials, company H prepare its separate financials, will it be enough? No. What do law say? What does law says? Law says consolidate. As per section 129, you know, there has to be consolidated, preparation of consolidated financial statements as well. Company H, you prepare your own, S, you also prepare your own. Then also prepare consolidated, merged financials, consolidated financials. So what are you doing when you're doing this? Disregarding separate legal entity. No sir, company H is separate, company S is separate. We know that. But in this case, law itself is saying when this is the scenario, please prepare even combined, consolidated, merged financial statements. So that means we have disregarded the separate legal entity and are treating company H and company S as one and the same. Come on, if you are able to follow, please let me know, boss. If you don't, then I will not be able to understand. I am not an astrologer or face reader. I have told you earlier as well. Looking at your face, I can't make out whether you followed or not. You have to reciprocate. And again, it's not possible. Tell me. You'll say, what nonsense. Correct or not? Followed? So this is section 129. Okay, sir. Now let's go to 219. What is it? Investigation. Let us say company X. Let us say company X is under investigation. Sir, why? Something wrong they might have done, or someone might have complained that they are doing something wrong, isn't it? So thereby the government has given investigation orders against that company. Something wrong they have done, or someone might have alleged, someone might have complained that they are doing something wrong. So they have a doubt. So when in doubt, investigate. So central government gave the investigation orders, or NCLT gave the investigation orders against company X. There are some group companies like company S, company R, company A, company H. Some group companies, subsidiary holding, some group companies are there. Now, do you think they also will be investigated? Or only company X will be investigated? Sir, only company X, sir, separate legal entity, sir. So those companies are different, this company is different. So if investigation order is against company X should be investigated. No, my dear friends. In this type of scenario, law says even other companies will be investigated. So group companies, if there are group companies like S, R, A, H in my example, they will also be investigated. So what did they do? Lifted the corporate wheel and treated company X and all other group companies as one and the same. Followed. So sir, investigation order will be only against company X. With that single order, they will be carrying out investigation against company S, company R, company H, company A. Yes. It's not that again separate orders will be issued against company S, company R, company. No, one single order. Whose name is written for investigation there? Company X. But still, company S cannot stop the investigating authorities. They can't say, no, our name is not written. Though your name is not written on this investigation order, because you are a subsidiary company, we have right to investigate your affairs as well, your books as well, because of section number 219. So statutory circumstance where lifting of corporate wheel is done. Correct or not? So this is the third example. What was the first example I took? Section 3A. Are these hypothetical examples I am taking? No. These are factual examples. Factual meaning these are facts. These are not my imaginary examples. Okay. In this question which I have asked, that was my imagination. Correct or not? Same way, now when I am saying company X, company S, this is my imagination. But then investigation under section 219, 129, consolidated financial statement, that's given by whom? Law only. So we understand that there is lifting taking place. Sir, further misdescription of name. Kumari madam, I have a complaint against you. You're not writing anything, ma'am. That's not acceptable. You should try. You say, no, sir, I'm not able to maintain that pace. Only when you practice, then you will be able to. You don't try, then how will you? If you're outside the swimming pool and you think you will learn swimming, that will never happen. You'll have to jump in the swimming pool, right? Jump into the swimming pool. Then you will learn swimming. Same way, write. In the beginning, maybe you will write few words. Slowly you will practice and write more. And then a day will come where probably you will write everything which is there on the board. Even understand, even interact, all that will happen. Okay, and if you're thinking, no, mine is fair book, I will go home and write. Nothing fair and rough. That age has gone now. Rough book, fair book, all that. Whatever is there is this. And you can improvise. See, when you write something, and later on when you revise, you feel, no, I should write more. Improvise. Improvisation should be there, but not writing anything with the hope that I will write it properly later. That properly and later will not come at all. Okay. Chalo. Now let's talk about the next section, section 4, which is again helping us lifting of corporate wheel. Okay, so sir, take an example to help us understand. Misdescription of name. Misdescription. That means you have described the name wrongly. So when you have described the name wrongly, again lifting of corporate wheel will take place. So let us say, okay, I am taking a hypothetical example to explain you this. There is a company called as ABC Trading Private Limited. What is the name of the company? ABC Trading Private Limited. Let's say Madhavi is the director there. Madhavi is the director there. So Madhavi had to enter into contract on behalf of that company with someone. Okay, with someone, with let's say Mr. Rao. So she prepared it, signed it, and written there, for and on behalf of ABC Private Limited. What did she write? ABC Private Limited, and signed it. Now who will be held liable? ABC Trading Private Limited? No. Who will be held liable? Madhavi personally will be held liable. Oh sir, why will I be held liable? What name you have written? ABC Private Limited. Did you write the name correctly? No. That means you will be held personally liable. Oh sir, this is a punishment? Yes. That means be careful. If you don't want this punishment, be careful. Write the name properly. If you were really serious about making the company liable, don't you think you would have written the name properly? Correctly? Yes sir, we would have. But you have not done that. You have not? Come on guys, answer. You have not done that. So this clearly shows that you want to take up liability on your own. Take it. Losses, take it. Same way, suppose she writes ABC. Let's say she writes ABC Trading Limited. ABC Trading Limited. Then who will be held liable? She will be. Or she writes A, B and C Trading Private Limited. She added and. Who will be held liable? बोलो यार जल्दी से. इतना टाइम लिए तो कैसा? कौन सी दुनिया में आप लोग? थोड़ा बोलना फास्ट. अब मैं और एग्जांपल ले रहा हूं तो जल्दी बोलना है. Then AB Trading Private Limited. Again director, that Madhavi, right? She will be held personally liable. So this again shows that law is doing what? It's lifting the corporate wheel, disregarding the separate legal entity and treating the director and company as one and the same and making the director personally liable. You said, I don't want this, I am the director, I don't want this. Arey then write the name of the company properly, no boss. हमको मजा थोड़ा ही आ रहा आपको liable करने में या liable बनाने में. You are doing that mischief, you have to suffer. Simple. You are driving rash. You meet with an accident. Whose fault it is? Your fault. No, I should not be hurt, I should not meet with an accident. Then drive properly. Is it clear? Next, section number 35. Misrepresentation in prospectus. क्या भाई? Misrepresentation in prospectus. Meaning, sir, in prospectus there is some misrepresentation. That means wrong facts are given. Incomplete facts are given. So there is a misrepresentation. So whoever has done that misrepresentation or whoever has authorized that sort of prospectus which is having misrepresentation will be held personally liable. Not liable, say personally liable. So that means what is law doing here again? Lifting of corporate wheel. There's a company will not be liable. That person, that member who has authorized or that Whoever has authorized that prospectus which is having misrepresentation, personally liable. उस time पे no separate legal entity and all. They say we will disregard that separate legal entity and catch hold of that person. You are giving wrong information, you are cheating the investors, you are giving incomplete information. How can we tolerate? You will be held personally liable. Anything goes wrong, you will be held personally liable. One example I have written for you. Suppose they write in the prospectus, declaration of dividend we have done since last 3 years. Since last 3 years continuously we were giving dividend. That's it, they stop. They don't complete that by saying that that was out of revaluation reserve. If they are giving dividend out of revaluation reserve, don't you think they should mention it? But they did not. They just said we are giving dividend. Acha. Do you think dividend should be given out of revaluation reserve? Never, sir. Because revaluation reserve means what? Unrealized reserve. They have not yet earned that profit. Suppose company is having some land which was worth 1 crore. Now appreciation happened. So it has become 1.3 crores. We got it valued and we found it is 1.3 crores. So they revalued their books. They did revaluation in their books. From 1 crore they have made it 1.3 in the asset side. So liability side they will write what? Revaluation reserve 30 lakhs. Correct or not? Balance sheet has to tally, no? So if asset side from 1 crore it is becoming 1.3, here also 30 lakhs should be increased in the liability side. And that's a profit. But did they realize that profit now? No. So what do we write there? In the liability side, revaluation reserve 30 lakhs. Did they earn that profit? No. They haven't. So profits which are not earned, out of that company is giving dividend. So wrong, boss. Okay, still you have done. At least mention that to the investors, no? At least talk about that in the prospectus, no? You are not doing that. So wrong, no? Come on, so wrong, no? That's where they say what? If you give incomplete information in the prospectus, if you give wrong information in the prospectus and try to attract the customers, and anything goes wrong, who will be held liable for it? Yes, you will be personally held liable. You meaning who? Whoever has authorized that prospectus. You are a director, you authorized it. You are an auditor, you authorized it. You are a company secretary, you authorized it. Whoever has authorized, all those persons will be held personally liable. Khattam. No separate legal entity, nothing there. Law is harsh. Law is harsh. Because you are doing mistake, law will be harsh. If you are weak, law will support you. Like small companies, they support. Section 8 companies, they support. If you are doing something good, they support. So you are weak, you want to do something good, law will support. But you are doing wrong, you are not doing nonsense in the name of company. Will the law tolerate it? No. That's what they're doing. They're not tolerating. They're saying we'll lift the corporate will and make you personally liable. Right? So these are few examples. One more was fraudulent conduct. No? Last one which I had written there was a simple point. Section 339. It says if there are fraudulent conducts. Fraudulent, you understand? Yes, sir. Fraud. So if there is some conduct involving fraud, who will be held liable? Company? No. Then the person who has done that fraud, he will be held personally liable. So this is mentioned in section 339. Okay, sir. So we understood statutory circumstances. Yes or no? Did you understand what is corporate will? What is it? Corporate personality. That is separate legal entity. What is lifting or piercing? Disregarding. Stop there, disregarding. If I say lifting or piercing of corporate will, then what will you say? Disregarding the separate legal entity or corporate personality, and thereby treating company and the members or the person who is involved as one and the same. So there will be unlimited liability, personal liability which will come on the part of that member or other person involved. That's what has happened, no? We have seen. So in statutory circumstances, meaning in some provisions, in some section, we could see there is lifting of corporate veil happening. Now let us see some case laws where lifting of corporate veil was done. So that's where we have written judicial circumstances. Few of the case laws I have mentioned there. Guilford Motor Company versus Horney. This is the first case law. Okay. What is the name of the case? What is the citation? Guilford Motor Company. Guilford, Ford spelling you know, F-O-R-D, G-I-L, Guilford, Motor Company versus Horney. Sir, this doesn't seem to be our case law. Yes, I have told you, we will refer to foreign case laws as well, and in foreign British case laws mainly, because our law is inspired from where? Britishers. Inspired, huh? Chalo. So let's understand this case. Shall we or not? Yes, sir, of course we should. We have to. So what happened in this case? There is a company, or there was a company called as Guilford Motor Company, which was having Horney, whatever you want to pronounce it as its employee. So one of the employees was Horney, who was removed from the company. Removed from the company. Why? Because of some misconduct, something. Okay, something wrong he has done, so they removed him. On the condition they removed, some condition they attached while removing. What was the condition which they attached? They said that you should be restrained. We are restraining you from soliciting the clients of our company. So Guilford Motor Company said, hey Horney, get out and don't ever think of taking away our clients. Don't ever think of servicing our clients. So we are removing you, and now you cannot work for our clients. Our clients are our clients. We'll work for them. Why should you work? Simple, no boss. आपका कस्टमर है, कोई और लेके गए तो गुस्सा नहीं आता. आपका कस्टमर है, आपका ही रहना ना. आपका एम्प्लॉय देखो निकल गया, निकल के आपके कस्टमर को लेके गया. Wrong, no? Come on guys, answer. So that is where they put this condition. They restrained Mr. Horney from soliciting the clients of Guilford Motor Company. Okay, sir. Now what did Horney do? He was anyways shrewd, sharp. He incorporated a company. And on that paper, on paper of that company, he was not a member. Family. He brought all family members. They were the members on paper. But who was the brain behind that company? Horney. And through this company which he incorporated, he approached those clients and brought those clients here. He said, anyways, I used to do your work. Now also I will only thing is company is getting changed and will take lesser money for it. Like that they'll attract, no? So he did this. So what happened? Then Guilford Motor Company got angry. They went to court of law, filed a case against Horney. Horney said, no, company, I am not there. On the papers also, I am not the shareholder, I am nothing. And separate legal entity, he said. Court said, nothing doing. Here what will they do? Lift the corporate veil and see who is the person behind the curtain. And they found who was that person? Horney. They understood the brainchild. The company is the brainchild of Horney. So they said, company and Horney is one and the same. And thereby, the company should restrain. Company should not solicit, should not give service to whom? The clients of Guilford Motor Company. Clear? So Horney, a former employee, when he was removed, he was restricted with the condition. And what was the condition? He should not be soliciting. That means he was restrained from soliciting the clients of that employer company. What was the name of employer company? Guilford Motor Company. So this fellow Horne incorporated a company separately without his name anywhere on the papers and started soliciting those clients. Guilford Motor Company went to court of law lifted the corporate wheel and thereby treated company and Horne as one and the same and asked the company to restrain. Restrain means what? I've told you earlier also, stopping. So stopped that company from soliciting those clients. Clear? Followed or not? Now what do you mean by solicitation work? Restrain meaning you know. What do you mean by solicitation? Soliciting. Giving advices. Basically legal advices. That is solicitation work. Sir, Guilford Motor Company, sir. Motor Company. Soliciting clients. Yes, they were into automobile consulting. There are different type of services. So they were giving advices. They were giving that legal advice on which matters? Automobile related matters. Are you getting it? Yes, sir. So don't think that something wrong is there. Some reason is there because of which it is like that. And this fellow, Horne, whom knows, might be aware of those legal provisions relating to that sector. That's why he was an employee working there and soliciting, giving advices to the clients. ठीक है भाई लोग, समझ में आ रहा नहीं आ रहा? Let's talk about the next one. What is the next one? Jones versus Imran Hashmi. Sorry, Lipman. Heard of Imran Hashmi, no? No? You don't know who's he? Okay, anyways, you can Google it later, not now. Just come back here. I need not tell you what is he famous for. At least you might have understood when I use the name Imran Hashmi instead of Lipman. Okay, no problem. You don't know. You're not losing anything. Chalo, Jones versus Lipman. What happened here? Sir, Jones filed a case against Lipman. Okay, thank you. Thank God you helped us. Do you think that is what I want to know? No. We want to know the complete facts. Lipman and Jones did some agreement. Lipman agreed for sale of land. He had some piece of land which he agreed to sell it to whom? Jones. He said, okay, I will sell this land to you. There was an agreement of sale. In which date was fixed? This is the date when I will transfer this land to you. Even consideration was fixed. Amount, price, value was fixed. Yes, this is the date and this is the price at which I will sell this land to you. Agreement to sale. That means right now sale is not taking place. They are agreeing to sell. You have read sale of goods at agreement to sell, sale. So this is what? Agreement to sell. But for some reason he changed his mind. He changed his mind. He did not wanted to sell it, or he did not wanted to sell it to Jones. Okay. So what he did? He said, if I do a breach, then this fellow will sue me in the court of law. Unnecessary tension. So he incorporated a company and transferred that land to that company. He incorporated a company and transferred that land which he had to company. Now this fellow Jones came on that date, agreed. He said, land. He said, I don't have. Where is it? That's with the company. I had to sell it to the company. Company is separate, I am separate. So even if you file a case against me, because I have done breach, I cannot do specific performance. You can't file a suit for specific performance. Because if he files for a specific performance, you know that he has to do that. That means he has to sell that land. So this fellow, because he wanted to avoid specific performance, he wanted to avoid that selling of land. What he did? Transfer that land to company. See the mischief which he is doing here. So now what did Jones do then? Went to court of law. Explained the situation. He wanted to avoid specific performance, because of which, or because of that, he incorporated a company, transferred the land to that company and now saying I don't have land. At the most I will pay penalty. Breach I have done, no, I will give damages, but I can't give you land. So what did court do? Lifted the corporate veil and treated Lippmann and company as one and the same. Treated company and Lippmann as one and the same and thereby ordered the company to transfer the land. Clear? तुम अगर डेढ़ होशियार है तो लॉ बोल रहा हम कौन है? डबल होशियार है. If you think you are 1.5 smart, law is saying we are double smart. Same way the courts. So if you are doing something wrong, don't you think the courts are plugging that? Courts are fixing that. Law is fixing that. Come on, guys, understand. See, if everything is right, you are doing it with the good intentions. Are they lifting the corporate wheel? No. You are trying to be mischievous. You are trying to cheat people. You are trying to do frauds, and if you expect separate legal entity, corporate personality, limited liability, what will they say? Nothing doing. You will be held personally liable. Clear? So Lippmann, who agreed to sell the land, date was fixed, consideration was fixed, wanted to avoid specific performance, that's why incorporated a company, transferred the land to that company. However, Jones did not like it, went to court of law lifted the corporate wheel and treated company and Lippmann as one and the same and asked the company to transfer the land to Jones. Any doubts? Come on, Kumari madam. You're able to follow? First case, did you understand? Guilford Motor Company versus Horning. All of you, please answer. So, when we meet in our next session, we'll continue with the other case laws. I know you are not interested to leave and you want me to complete this now itself. I know that, but then all good things have to come to an end and we should have something to read tomorrow as well, isn't it? So, let's meet tomorrow to continue further. Any doubts? No? So, thank you so much. God bless you all. See you all tomorrow in the next session. Bye-bye. Thanks.